Hey, what up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Um, Friday Night Live. Let's get it in. Yep, still Friday, still Friday. So let's get it in, y'all. I don't plan on being long, but you never know. Sometimes it depends on y'all. It depends on the flow of the conversation. So we shall see what it be. But we got a topic tonight and that I want to touch on, and I hope that it reaches y'all because a lot of times when I have certain topics, y'all don't. It's not interesting enough because maybe I ain't being messy or nothing. I don't know. But we will go in and try to give some understanding, give different angles on this topic that I'm speaking on tonight, and see y'all can see how it applies to y'all life. But as usual, as you come in, if you're within the sound of my voice, please do your big brother a favor and click the like button, which is that thumbs up button. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and always have your notifications on. And with that being said, we'll get right into it. Um, the title that I have tonight is talking about an exit plan. Everyone needs an exit strategy. Everyone needs an exit plan. So the question would be, exit out of what? It's like exit out. What do you mean? Everyone needs an exit strategy. Everyone needs an exit. I will go microcosm, macrocosm. Um, Everything in life, you pretty much need an exit strategy. Most things. Some things may require an exit plan at some point, but it was not ever intended to be needed or to be necessary. Like if you are married, you know, I would assume that most people who get married, they get married with the intention that this marriage is going to last them forever. Y'all stand in front of the preacher and you tell them lies about how for better, for worse, and sickness and health, to death do us part. And for those who mean it, for those who really stand there and they actually mean those words, you don't have it in your mind that this could end one day or it's gonna end. And when I say end, I don't mean because one of the parties passes away or anything like that. I mean end because the marriage goes sour, the relationship goes sour, and then before you know it, y'all are going at it and cussing each other out and getting lawyers, and before you know it, now we in the process of divorce. So that being said, things have to be put in place, lawyers and the divvying up of property and visitation rights of the children, and so that is an exit plan that came unplanned. So, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm speaking more so like um, you working at a job, and if there's a job that you are working at and this job is temporary, and you understand that this job is temporary, they say, look, man, we're going to hire you for 6 weeks. If you know that you're on for 6 weeks or a couple of months, then you come in knowing that this situation that I'm in is not eternal. It's not going to last forever. I'm not going to be on this job for 15, 20 years. I'm not going to retire from this job. They've already let me know that a couple of months, it's over. So from the day you start that particular job, you should already be planning and strategizing what your permanent move is going to be. You're using this as a bridge to get to where you're really trying to go. And if you procrastinate and wait around and just kind of ride those 2 months out, then when the time comes, you down to those last couple of days and you know it's about to be over, now you are in a panic because you're unprepared. You haven't even lined up another gig, and now you find yourself in a tight situation. So these are situations that require, an exit strategy. But one of the key components to being able to successfully plan your exit from a bad situation and from a potentially bad situation is first understanding and knowing that you're in a bad situation, but also making sure that you pay immediate attention to it, that you don't play around, you don't procrastinate. You have a plan that you want to implement, and too many times we waste that time, even when we know, even when we know that this is temporary, even when we know it's not going to last forever. We waste our time, and then we let it get too bad. Um, the main course of this meal tonight is going to be based around figuring out a way to exit from the current state of this world, and in particular this country that we are in, that many of us are in, called the United States of America. Um, if we talk about what our exit plan is from the United States of America, I know me as a black man, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to really, really get it together, because um, we are in a place that, for the most part, those at the top, those who make all the rules, those who call all the shots, they hate us anyway. They don't want us here anyway. They're seeking to destroy us anyway. So we're here because we were brought here, we were captives here, we were forced to be here. So at the end of the day, we've made our way, we've done the very best that we could, and elbowing our way to kind of make room and make a space for ourselves. But also, some of us knowing that even on this ship that we're on called America is sinking. It's on the way out. All of the systems, all of the components that make up America, they're collapsing at the seams. Um, Economics collapsing, educational system collapsing, um, society and as a whole, in terms of the treatment of society, collapsing, relationships collapsing, spiritual organizations collapsing. Every facet of this nation that we're in right now is breaking down. And when that starts to happen, if we are among the people who are not recognizing that, then we stand the greatest chance of getting caught up in the wave, getting caught up in the tidal wave. We would not go sailing on a day where the weather forecast says that, hey, it's going to be a storm out at sea. But if you haven't checked the weather and you paid it no attention, or you did check and you still went out, then you run the risk of getting caught at sea, caught in a storm at sea on a little bitty boat. So that's where a lot of us are in terms of the United States of America. We have this thought in our mind, like, this country is so powerful that it's going to always be here. It's nothing's going to be able to uproot it or take it off the slab, as we say. But that couldn't be further from the truth, because we're seeing the collapse of it every passing day, if we would open our eyes and just recognize what's going on around us. And many of us do, but more of us don't. So for those that do, we do our best. Well, we should be doing our best to educate those who don't, whether they accept it or understand it or not, because there are so many people who, again, have this view of America and a view of this world like um, it's indestructible, and like it's like the way that it is now is going to be that way for the next 1,000 years, and that's just not the case. Scripture even defies that, even contests that notion, for those who believe in it, or whether even if you don't. You got to still be real enough to look at it and say, wait a minute, it is kind of lining up. It is kind of lining up. At the very worst, that would be the thought process. So the foolish among us think that we're going to coast along and this is what it's going to be forever, and the president's going to save us, and no, there's no need to fear. Everything is under control. Yeah, well, everything is under control, but the question is, whose control is it under? It's not under a president's control. It's not under a mayor's control. It's not under a a preacher's control. It's not under the scholars of this world's control. It's not under the scientists of this world's control. It's not under the educators, the history writers. It's not under the control of. It's not under the control of law enforcement. It's not under the control of the judicial system. None of those entities control ultimately what's going to happen to this nation. But yet these are the entities that we put our hope and our faith and our belief in year in and year out. So an exit plan has to be put in place for those who do recognize that, hey, this thing ain't looking right. This thing about to be over. And you have to start making your plans to get out. When I say get out, what do I mean get out? Some people would take that as, hey, man, we got to go to another country. We got to pack up and leave America. And some people will do that. Some people have done it. Some people have already got out of it. I don't even live in America no more. I live in this part of the world. I live in that part of the world. But, and that's cool. I mean, but the truth of the matter is that America will be the first and get it the worst. But America won't be the only, you know, because, you know, just keeping it real, God's judgment is for the whole planet. So you prolong it, it's gonna touch every corner of the globe at some point. When I say every corner, don't think I'm a flat earther. I just want to let y'all know that right now. That's a figure of speech. But you got to start planning to get out, because and planning to survive. Planning to survive is a form of getting out, because if you're still within the borders of this nation, when the visual recognition of the collapse is evident, where it's so obvious to where you're not going to be able to deny it, you're going to completely understand that it's happening, then, and you here, you in it, you can't run and go catch no flight. There'll be no flight to catch. You can't hop on no boat. There'll be no boat to jump on. So you have to have things in place already to weather the storm within. It's like people who don't evacuate when a hurricane is coming, when a storm is coming, and they issue out a statement and say, hey man, look, everybody needs to evacuate. It's going to hit hard in this spot that you are at. It's going to hit hard in this spot. Y'all need to get out. And most people will evacuate. They'll move around, but there's always going to be some that just go, you know what? We're just going to bow down and ride it out. We're going to ride it out. And some people ride it out and, you know, they make it through. But you can't ride it out without having the proper tools and the proper supplies and things that are necessary to ride it out. So we're going to need some, and I'm speaking in terms of like when you riding out a storm, you're going to need old school. You're going to need batteries for the radio. That was back in the days. You're going to need candles when the lights blow out. You're going to need food and water, supplies. You're going to need things that you can prepare without electricity being necessary to use. You know, all of these different things you're going to need. That you're going to need the fortification of your edifice. You're going to need the fortification of your home or wherever you live. All these things are necessary because the storm could blow your windows out. Okay? You're going to need a full tank of gas in your car beforehand. You can't try. Many of us have been involved. We live in the South, so I'm using the hurricanes as an example based on my experience. Wherever you live, you can use whatever your natural disaster might be. But many of us who've been hit by hurricanes and we live in this region, we've all seen times where people, once the storm is passed, now everybody's trying to slowly creeping out to try to get life back to normal. And now people are trying to go to the gas station and get gas, and the gas stations are packed. Lines coming out of the gas station going all the way down the street, and now you got to wait forever to get gas. People fighting behind the gas pump. The gas station said, hey, man, $20 minimum. People skipping in the line and going crazy. Even before the storm hits, people who say, okay, well, man, the storm's coming tomorrow. Everybody rushing to the grocery store today. And now the grocery store is packed, or you get there and the shelves are already empty because we didn't prepare. There are people who are at home the whole time like, I've been had my stuff. I'm gassed up. I'm supplied up. My fortress is secure. Those are the smart ones among us. So you prepare for the things you need in order to survive the storm. And that's part of the exit plan to me, because when you talk about the big storm, and I mean the destruction of this nation, then something has to come after that for the people who are still here. So a unifying effort has to take place, because you got to be close to your neighbors. You got to kind of have, and I wouldn't say close, but it would help to have a relationship to where y'all can kind of pull together if things get tough. Because if you got it and they don't, when it get tough, your friendly little neighbor, you might have to bump him off. Because if he gets desperate, you don't know what he might do when his family doesn't have the things that your family had. So these are all things that people have to think about, that we have to think about. And we have to plan our exodus. But there's also going to have to be an exit that starts up here in the mind. The exodus has to start in the head, in the brain, in the mind, in the thoughts, because you can't remove yourself from something physically until you remove yourself from it mentally. As long as your mind is there, your body will be there, unless somebody physically forces you to move. It's like in the days of Harriet Tubman in the Underground Railroad. There were slaves who wanted to go. They're like, come on, let's go, Harriet, I'm with you. But there were some who didn't want to go. And according to the history, there was some that she had to pull guns on and like to make them go. So when that happens, it's like, okay, well, his mind is still in the mind of wanting to be on the plantation. But she like, no, I'm going to force you to freedom, because when you get to the freedom, you'll understand why it was not a good idea for you to want to stay on the plantation. But if the plantation is all you know and all you know, then, hey man, we good here, we good. What could be better than this? So you don't understand what could be better than that until you get to what is better than that. Then you go, oh. But everybody ain't gonna do that, because unfortunately, too many of us, we have fallen in love with America and the westernized personality, the westernized mindset of America. We've fallen in love with that to such a degree that we don't think it could be anything better. We don't even believe that God could produce anything better than how we have it over here in America. We don't even believe that. Even though that was the promise. It's like, this ain't nothing. No matter how good you got it, no matter what you have experienced, no matter what euphoria that you have experienced being over here, it doesn't even compare to what will be on the other side of this thing, when this collapsing building, when this imploding building that we are in completes its implosion process. And some of us are going to hang on to it to the end. You ever seen a child that didn't want to go and they was holding on to the mama's leg? And mama like, oh no, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. Kicking and screaming. See? But That's who we are as a people, and that's who we were predicted and prophesied to be as a people. Because this world has made us to believe that it gets no better than this. And that's just not the case. And we ignore the treatment that we've encountered in our time over here. We totally ignore that because we focus on the bones that have been thrown to us. So I'm watching something yesterday. As y'all hit that like button for me, some of y'all haven't hit that like. Click the like button if you haven't already. But I'm watching yesterday where an integration argument sparked up on the internet because one individual posed a question and asked, was integration a good thing for Black people? And a couple of the panelists that he had on his show were saying no. And then the word got back to another person who's a prominent name, and they disagreed, and now it's a back and forth thing because apparently the other person believed that integration was a blessing and a good thing for Black people, and they used the existence of HBCUs as an example of how, had it not been for integration, we would not have HBCUs. So the conversation went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we can have the arguments on what some of the things that integration has allowed us to have, to create, whatever. But I think the better argument, or the better conversation rather, would be to venture into the possibilities of what we would have and where we would be had it, if there was an effort of collective unity among us that did not even require us to integrate into a system that's already created to work against us. So there's a friction because we were fighting all along to integrate into something that, number one, did not like you. Number two, had every component set up to deny and block you. But this is what we're trying to fight our way into. And so the thought process with me is, if you have to go to war and fight tooth and nail for every basic right as a human being, then it's not worth it to have to go to war to that level, because the people that you were trying to force to accept you, if they were good people that just had it in there, they would do it anyway. You wouldn't have to go. They would just say, oh my, you're right. This is what we should do. Everybody should have equal this, equal that, equal that. That's just not the case. It's not the case. So we think that we want to live in the house until we move into the house. House look good from the outside, but then when you move into the house, you're like, oh, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to have my own room. I ain't got my own room. I'm sleeping on the floor. I went to the refrigerator to get some juice, and the refrigerator was locked. So they say the grass can be greener on the other side. It might be, but it also might be a snake in it. So all of these conversations and arguments that sparked up, and they were sound bites, granted, but those kind of conversations have so much ground to cover to give understanding to both sides, to those who agree and those who disagree, in my opinion. But we got to have an exit plan. The problem is, as I said earlier, too many of us don't realize that this thing is on the way out. What do I need an exit plan for? We good. If you were living in an apartment complex and you received a notice, thank God. If you received a notice that, hey, man, we are condemning these apartments, we're condemning this complex, we tearing it down, everybody has 30 days to figure out what they're going to do. You would be a fool to just be lounging in there for two and a half, 3 weeks. You're not looking for a new place to stay. You ain't stacking no money. You ain't calling no relatives, or at the very least, because you've been issued the notice. Then at the last minute, you want to try to see who you can go live with. No, can't do it. So an exit plan is very important. You got to have an exit plan when you deal with certain people. And many people do that. Now, I ain't saying the example I'm going to use is right, but I can't necessarily say it's wrong. When I think about it, y'all would have to tell me what y'all think as y'all hit the like button, those who haven't. But I'm using this as an example. I saw where there was a rich man. I don't say names when I don't really feel like I have to. I saw where there was a rich man who was married, and his wife was planning to leave him. And apparently the plan was in her mind for a long, long time. And while that plan was in her mind, she was putting away money. She was stacking money to the side, building it up. And by the time she was ready to go to make her move, she had a nice little piece of bread put away that would give her a cushion for whatever was going to happen. Because it's possible she may have got something in a divorce settlement as well as that. I don't know, but she was planning an exit strategy to secure herself in the event of whatever would have happened. So like I say, I'm not saying that she was right, but based on what may have been going on in the marriage that may have been out of pocket towards her, I can't say she was wrong. She's like, hey, I got to figure this out. People are in abusive relationships sometimes, and there are people who've been in abusive relationships that the smart ones, because I watch a lot of TV shows, y'all know, I tell y'all all the time, I watch a lot of Discovery ID. I watch a lot of Tubi. Watch a little Lifetime. And y'all know the kind of shows that come on those channels is always those chaotic relationships, abusive type stuff going on a lot of the times. And one of the things that I see, whether it be based on real life or just some dramatization, it's always the person who tells the abusive spouse, well, that's why I'm leaving you and I'm taking the children with me. Now, you done told this to the crazy man. And I always wondered, why would they say that openly? Why would you tell your plan openly to do that? knowing that this person is problematic, knowing that this person is an abuser, knowing that this person is potentially dangerous. And then, like I said, if you're watching Discovery ID, then you already know. So what ends up happening is the person ends up getting the, you're not gonna leave me. But the point I'm trying to make is, if I was playing basketball, if I was on a basketball team and we in the huddle and we line up what play we're gonna run, I'm not gonna walk out and tell my opponent the play we getting ready to run. Yeah, we fit set a back pick on you, and then my teammate, he gonna cut to the hole. I'm gonna dribble around like I'm gonna score, and I'm gonna throw the alley oop. We gonna win. You're not gonna do that unless you Larry Bird or somebody. But when you in a bad situation like that, don't give away your plan. Just execute the plan. Just get out. And I'm teaching this game to a lot of women who may be going through this. You know, not a lot of women in here, but somebody might come across somebody. You know, if you're dealing with somebody who is abusive like that, or somebody who has you living in fear, is dangerous like that, don't be telling them what you gonna do. Are you crazy? Just play it smart and let him come home one day and you are in Alaska. Because the thing about an exit strategy and exit plan, it's not something that always has to be broadcast. You don't have to broadcast. And that's one of our biggest problems. We got to tell everybody everything. And this is not off subject. This is just, it's in pocket with what I'm talking about, but just in a different way. You don't have to tell everybody everything. Work on your plan in darkness. Work on it in darkness to where by the time the people know about it, or by the time you're ready to announce it, there's nothing that nobody can do to stop it. Because if you talk about something in the early stages of it, then there's a possibility and a potential that somebody could stop it. Harriet Tubman wasn't broadcasting what she was doing in the Underground Railroad. She was slipping in under the cloak of darkness, pulling slaves out. We sneaking in and out under the night sky. Because if we announce what we're doing, what's going to happen? Make it to where by the time they find out, there's nothing that they can do to stop it. And sometimes you have to keep things from people in your own camp. You got to keep things from people in your own camp because, unfortunately, we live in a time where those who are with us may not necessarily be with us. Those who are around us all the time might not be able to trust them. And that's the tough part, because a plan, sometimes you need help from others to put it together. So you got to try to really step out on faith about knowing who to trust and knowing who not to. But I think that unless a shocking event happens where somebody who's been solid with you forever, they just turn on you. For the most part, I feel like we would have a good idea of who and who not to tell. We all got that family member that, don't tell Johnny. We throwing mama a surprise party. Okay, well, look, I need you and you and you. Y'all go get the food. Look, we're going to take care. I'm going to rent out the building. We're going to do. Don't tell Johnny. Why? Because Johnny going to tell mama. He going to go and tell ain't such and such. And then it's going to spread. He going to tell. So you got to keep it away from him if you want the plan to go right. So we have to know who not to tell, because the right information in the wrong hands leads to a messed up plan, a destroyed plan. Can't tell everybody. And another reason why you can't is because there are some people in your camp. They'll start, even if they're not telling. They might not necessarily be going and telling and blowing up the spot, but what they might do, they may start to cause problems in defiance within the ranks because they don't agree with the plan. Everybody ready to roll except them. Everybody on board except them. And we all know it's always one. Why we got to do it like that? See, I think that we ought to. And it's not to say that we're not open to a suggestion. But if the majority has already made the decision, now we got to fight with somebody in the ranks because. So all these things are because different people have different mindsets, different personalities, different views, different ideologies, different ways of seeing things. And so you got to be careful. You have people within the ranks that are what's known as contrarians. And a contrarian is a person that is always at one, that always got to jump off to the side. And, well, that doesn't make sense. I think that, well, who are you to say? And then, well, when the stakes is high, we not arguing over who the best out of Michael Jordan and LeBron. We talking about when the stakes is high in life and death, and you bring your silly, unqualified opinion to the table. We ain't got time for that. So you got to take it or leave it. And you have to leave those kind of people to their own devices because we don't have time. So you say, okay, you know what? Do it your way. And maybe we'll see you, maybe we won't. But a contrarian is not going to come in and start planting seeds of contrarianism. But plan your work, then work your plan, because failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And have a plan to get out of whatever it is that's not good for you. Now, on another note, before I go into y'all's comments, sometimes, well, I won't say sometimes, I would say that one of the underrated or the least spoken of aspects of having an exit plan is the process of having an exit plan centered around exiting from the negative and bad parts of ourself. We don't look at that side of life. We look at I gotta get away from that Negro. I gotta get away from this. I gotta get away from the United States of America. I gotta get away from the prison system. I got to get away. And all that's true. But there are aspects of our own self that we need to be working on and planning to separate from, separate ourselves from, separate our better self from that lower self. But in the same vein where many of us would not consider an exit strategy as it relates to being in the United States and separating ourselves from that mindset and that physical presence in this construct, the same principle applies with us, because some people don't even think that it's that bad and that the conditions in this world and in this nation are that bad, so we think we good. The same rule applies when it comes to yourself. Some of us think we perfect. Some of us think I'm good. I ain't got no reason to. What do I have to change about myself? It ain't nothing for me to change about myself. That's how some people think. Some of y'all might have just be tuning in and thinking that I'm saying that. No. I'm saying that that's how some people think. Some of us may feel like it's everybody else. It ain't me. But there are aspects of ourselves that we should be working towards distancing ourselves from, or just outright, which is really translation for outright destroying those parts of ourselves within ourselves. Jordan says, only got time for the facts. I just happened to glance over and see that comment. I'm just looking at that comment. That's the first comment I see. Jordan says, only got time for the facts. And it's so good that you said that, because in critical moments, we watch movies all the time, and you see where the ship is going down. We see where it's a hostage situation. You see where something crazy is happening, and the person, the star of the movie, he's trying to figure out the best thing to do, but it's always that person on the side that's being emotional. And we have to deal with the scientific and mathematical solutions to problems instead of your feelings. Because somebody's feelings will mess up and destroy everybody. So when it comes to certain situations, certain scenarios, we have to operate on facts. What are the facts? And these facts are necessary for us to figure out what we need to do. What is the scientific and mathematical breakdown? What is the solution based on that info, not based on, well, I feel. Get away from me with that. I don't care about how you feel. If we in a huddle, I don't care that y'all might remember this, but I'm gonna use a different scenario of it. I'm a Rockets fan. I like basketball. I could care less that if we down by one. I don't care if Sam Cassell, I'm going old school, if Sam Cassell feels in his heart that he can make the game-winning shot. I appreciate you, Sam, but I'm giving the ball to Akeem Olajuwon. Because based on the stats and the information, he's the best qualified to win that game for us. I don't care if Scottie Pippen felt like, hey, man, I could hit the shot too. Well, maybe you could, but Michael Jordan's sitting right there. So I'm gonna go head on and I'm gonna draw this play up for Mike to give us the better chance to win. care about your feelings. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about your blind what's the word I'm looking for? I can't pull the word out of my mind, but your blind little floaty little fantasy thoughts of how things should. No, we're talking about what needs to happen in a crucial time. So Jordan said, I gotta go back to Jordan's comment. I'm gonna go in the comments anyway. Only got time for the facts. That's it. That's it. Keep your little pretty little opinions to yourself. Everybody that just coming in, y'all hit the like button. We may try to get to 100 tonight, but I'm not gonna hold y'all long because I got stuff to do. But I'm gonna go back a little bit. I'm gonna go back just a little bit. Let me see. Y'all bear with me. I'm just reading some stuff. I'm proofreading this one comment to see if it's on topic. Because I don't really like to look at comments before I read them. But sometimes if I start off and it seems like it's off topic, then I have to make the decision to not read it when we have a topic. This is not open topic tonight. So if you ask me about some music or something like that, ask me who's my favorite tap dancer, and I'm not going to answer that tonight. We're not going into that tonight. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not seeing nothing so far. Not seeing nothing so far. Michael said Johnny can't hold water on his chest. Yeah, we don't tell Johnny what's going on. Mike says, do you think any got killed because they was going to tell? Like the slaves, anything? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like to speak on stuff I don't know, but wouldn't surprise me because when the existence and the success of the whole is at stake. Now think about this. This is gonna sound crazy to some of y'all with weak hearts. If you got a weak little punkish little emotional heart, this is gonna sound crazy to you. It's gonna sound like I'm an insane man talking. But for the good of the whole of us, there's 1,000 of us trying to get this goal accomplished. That's gonna be beneficial for generations moving forward. If one or two people are jeopardizing the success of that could wipe it out, wipe the possibility of it being successful out, they got to go. So you try, let's put them out. Let's move them out the way. But if they causing too much problem, man, they got to go. We let the wrong people hang around, and they are they're cancers to everything that they involve themselves in. They imploded from the inside out. They gotta go. So I don't know. I know Harriet didn't play that. So if she'll pull a pistol to make you go to freedom, I don't put it past her to pull a pistol to make sure you don't mess up our freedom. It's just my opinion, or my view, my thought, you know. Let me see. I'm still reading what y'all got to say. Looking for that comment that's going to shake up the world. Well, my mind, rather, I can't say the world. My little peanut brain, my little pea brain only represents, matter of fact, my little pea brain don't even register in the totality of the universe. So we're just a few of us that are having this conversation. We try to get out of it what we can. Appreciate the donation, Lady Trill. I'm on the front line. Appreciate the love, appreciate the donation. My mother has all those books. What books, Diaz? The books on the Underground Railroad? Hmm. Flip K says to your earlier comment, actions speak louder than words. Yeah, actions speak louder than words. But we live in a world where words are disguised as actions. A lot of people disguise their words as actions. So they talk a good game and make it seem like they got motion when it's really not like that at all. They're really not doing nothing. And even the ones who speak negatively of those who are active, because we see that a lot. I made videos about that. You may be a better speaker than me. You may have more personality and more charisma than me. You may be more articulate than me. You may be able to be more persuasive and influential in your speech than me, but you're not doing nothing, and that can fool people who get caught up in the charisma, get caught up in the articulation, get caught up in the eloquence about that you're not doing nothing. We never see anything that you do, any work that you do. But we see some other person that ain't talking about it at all, ain't saying nothing, they just doing stuff, getting stuff done. That's why we got to be real careful. Erica, that was you gave me that number 70 like. Good looking out. So have a plan to get out. And don't do your best to not be ruled and controlled by emotion, man. Try your best to do the math on everything that you got going on in your life. Try your best. I ain't saying you're gonna master it because I know I haven't. Try your best to move in a mathematical. Try your best to make every move you make, especially significant moves, based on a formula. Whether it be a little formula or a big long equation. Some plans take a long time. Some plans are quicker. Some plans are immediate. Some you got to work and work and work and work and work. If we take the story of Noah in the Bible, whether you believe in that or not, I don't really care if you do, if you don't. I'm going to speak to the principle. When you look at the story of Noah in the Bible, God told Noah he was getting ready to destroy the world. And he was like, look, I'm getting ready to wipe this place out, and I'm going to do it with a flood. So what I want you to do, I want you to build an ark. Now we'll get into the, well, maybe we won't, but we could get into the literal versus the allegorical, because I think that's where a lot of people get lost when it comes to certain scriptures, because you take it literally and you don't know how, or we haven't been taught how to pull the principle and understand the principle of it and not look at it from a literal sense. So now we think we're reading a fairy tale book and you miss out on all that wisdom. It's a shame. Thank God for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Man, I'd be thinking the same way. I'm like, man, this is like, don't make no sense. But he showed us how to make sense of those scriptures, to make it make sense, as the young people say. But it was told to Noah, hey, I'm going to destroy the world with water. So you need to build this ark, this protective ship, this vessel that you and your family can go into this ark, along with what I instruct you to bring into the ark, so that you can survive. So according to the scripture, Noah was preaching for 150 years that the flood was coming. So naturally, like us, like we are, first thing we're going to say, man, that man crazy. That man standing out in the middle of Martin Luther King and Belford talking about it's going to be a flood and y'all better hurry up and get it together and blah, 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 blah. And then 20 years passed, 40 years passed, 80, 100 years passed, and the man was still, man, that man been preaching that forever. Don't even pay no attention to him at this point. That's the thought process. Don't even pay attention to that man. I was a little boy, and he was talking that same talk. But that's God's mercy, because it takes away, somebody telling you all that time, it takes away all excuses. Because nobody can say they didn't know. But at the same time, he's preparing the ark. He's building the ark. He's preparing his exit strategy. He's setting it up to get out. And when the time came and the rain came down and the doors to the ark was closed, now you had those people that mocked him. They're on the outside beating, trying to get in. It was too late. It's too late. They didn't have an exit plan. So some of the things that I would look at and say, like, what are some of the things that we could do? Like I said, well, I think the first thing, this me talking, y'all, because I'm trying to figure this thing out just like y'all. But again, we speak about revolution and being a revolutionary, and we finna get down. It's time for the revolution. We're gonna revolt, but revolution is just a change of thought. It's just a changing in the way you think. So when you the revolution, as they say, it starts in the mind. So if you don't change your thought process, meaning you don't change off of your belief and faith in this world's system, this world's way of operation, then what? You ain't ready for no revolution. You're not a participant in a revolution, because your mind is still in line with how it's going on now. You still in lockstep with the current construct. So the first thing got to change is your mindset. D Razor, I appreciate the love, appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. So their mindset is what? Man, this is, and I say this all the time, this is America. This is good old America. This is America. God bless America. God, nobody's better than America. Europe ain't better than America. Canada, Mexico, Africa, Asia. Nobody's better than America. Even South America ain't better than our America. And it gives some people this sense of entitlement where they feel like it justifies America being able to do whatever they want to do, no matter how wrong America might be. And that is, and the oppression of other people, other nations. They steal, rob, kill, rape, assassinate, lie, scam, deceive, and have no remorse about it because we America. We're the best, and we can do whatever we want to do to whoever we want to do it to. And that is the same recipe. That's the same recipe that past nations in that mindset have had, that same mindset, and they followed that same recipe, and they all was destroyed. God destroyed them all, and he destroyed everyone who had that mindset. We are Babylon. We are ancient Rome. We are ancient Egypt, all the way up to current day Babylon, which is America. We are America. We're the best. Nobody's greater. Nothing's going to happen to us. Watch what's going to happen. Watch what's going to happen. Watch what's going to happen to your beloved America. And why is it going to happen? Why is it going to happen? Why? What you mean? Why would that happen in America? Because you got to read history. I just told you what America: steal, kill, rape, rob, pillage, burn. Everything. Bomb, war, everything. All to keep and maintain their position. And we have citizens of this nation that say, hey, whatever sustains America, forget those people. If they die, they just die. They got something we want. If our government decides to go and take it, then hey, we're America, so it's right. No, it's not. What makes you think that this land, that America is favored over any other nation, over a poor nation? Why? What gives you that mindset? Instead of having the mindset of understanding and humility to say, well, you know what, man? Hey, right is right, wrong is wrong. So if I take something from you unjustly, I'm wrong. No, you're right because you bigger than him. That's what you can do. You could take it from him. He shouldn't have been weak like that. Okay. It's somebody big and stronger than you. So you'll meet that person. Gabriel, I see you, my brother. I know that interview is up that we just did. Thank you for the love, Gabe. See the homie JD is up in this thing. But yeah, the common thought, according to history, according to scripture, in what we see right now, the common thought of all of the great nations that came before this one and all of the rulers of those great nations, they had one, well, not one thing, but one of the common thought processes that they had was that they never believed that their nation could be brought down. Didn't matter what happened, didn't matter what prophets that the God sent to them and told them. They tried to kill every prophet that came to them. They never believed that their nation could be took down. We living in the same kind of nation right now. The leadership of this nation, they have full confidence and total arrogance that nothing can happen to them. Tell me I'm lying. Jovan says, shame on this country. They don't believe it. Because I say to not believe, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in God's power. And too many of us, we put more focus on these leaders than we put on God. We make them into the God. We turn them into God. Yep. We turned the rulers of the world into gods, not beside God, over God. But in America, we say one nation under God. But what God are we under? One nation under God. Yeah, but what God are you talking about? Because the truth is, yeah, we are under God. Everybody's under God. So it is a nation under God. But that statement is spoken in a way that implies that God is in lockstep with how America is moving. And he ain't. He's favored this nation for a long time to give it a chance to kind of fix up some of the wrongs. And they steady committing wrongs against people. So it's a line of, I won't say credit, but it's a tab. I guess it was a credit line, but it's a tab that America has built up. And when the tab has went so long without being paid, sooner or later, the bartender gonna say, hey man, it's time for you to pay your tab, bro. You can't order no more drinks. You owe $443 in, bro. You gotta pay up. America is 400 and something years in. That's just against us. 1776 was when the Declaration of Independence and all that was drawn up, but Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. They got us in the 1500s. So you talking close to 500 years? 500 years of, like I said, murder, rape, pillage, stillage. I made that word up. Murder, rape, pillage, stillage, killage, rapage, liage. That's a hell of a tab. So our job, because we talk about exit strategies and all that, if we believe that that tab is about to get called and this place, God for to come in, snatching off, kicking in doors and flipping over furniture in this house called America, and you live in the house, wouldn't it make sense to try to get out of his way? Because the American zealots are going to find out sooner or later that God don't love America like you think he do. can't love America when he see the way America treats people. Y'all hit the like button if you haven't already, man. I'm back in y'all comments. I'm gonna give y'all one more chance because y'all don't be wanting to hear this kind of talk. I understand though. I understand. Happy Savior's Day, man. This is Savior's Day. You want to hear the Savior's Day lecture to know what's really going on in the world? If you want to hear the Savior's Day lecture to know what's really happening, what time it really is in the world, not what the president telling you, not what CNN and Fox is telling you, not what social media influencers are telling you, content creators. If you really want to know what's going on and where we at, Sunday, y'all go to NOI.org and watch the Savior's Day address, the annual Savior's Day address. I don't believe, I'm not sure, I don't think Minister Farrakhan is giving the lecture this year. Matter of fact, I'm kind of certain of it. I think Brother Ishmael Muhammad is giving the lecture this year. But Sunday, go to that website. If you really want to know what's going on, I'll stand on that. No matter what religion you are, it's for everybody. It don't matter. Exit strategy. I don't think we'll get to 20 more likes, man. So I don't think we'll get to 20 more likes. Is that in NGO Gomain Mac says America been like a Gomorrah. It's just a minute before the spark catch up. Sodom and Gomorrah times 10. Happy Savior Day, Patrick Chin. D Razor says never stop learning. Yep. Better not. Better not. Is that Jezza the Jester? Appreciate the love, appreciate the donations. Cheers for not blocking. G and F. No, I don't block until it gets disrespectful or it gets off too far crazy. So make sure you stay on topic. If you don't stay on top, if you stay on topic, I won't block it. Respect and protocol is the key. We need 12 more likes. Can we get to 12 more likes? No, I don't know. But in the meantime, man, y'all drop y'all locations and I'll shout y'all out. I will shout y'all out. Drop your locations. Stan is in Minneapolis. Erica is in Beaumont. Erica, I hope you did you get your package, Erica? Please say yes. The homie JD, we know JD is in Funky Town. Elvis is in, what's that? Wangari, New Zealand. Ngomain Mac is in the motherland, South Africa. I want to come to South Africa. We need 7 more likes, y'all. Johnny Blaze, West Baltimore in the building. Is that B. Ragadino in Cleveland? Okay, cool, Erica. Whoo, shout out. Much love. Miss Lady Sample, Lake Superior region. We need 5 more likes, y'all. James from 3rd Ward to North Dallas. Mike Pinion, Center, Texas, man. Center, Texas. My brother, Michael Butte, Beaumont, Texas. Say I'm at work in Groves, Texas. Where's Groves? How far is that from H-Town? Jordan is in Phoenix, Arizona. John Drescher is in Harrisburg. D. Razor is in Screwston, Texas. Yeah, the homie CJ the Gov album dropped today, man. So y'all don't know who he is. He down with us. So y'all go check out CJ the Gov and go support. Gabe says, did you fix the website? Not yet. We're working on it. We got to redo everything. Tipville, what's up, Tip? My brother. Tip, my boy doing big things, man. Stay working. I'll be seeing your work, bro. So, you know, I ain't got nothing but love for you, Tip. Holler at your big brother whenever, man. Is that ODS, the homies in the Netherlands? Oh, come on, my bad, Gabe. All right, let me work on that. We just need to meet up, man. I need to see what you got and what you don't got, and let's try to put it all together. Orlando is in Trujillo, Mile High, Texas. Anybody from Austin, Texas in the building tonight? Where all my Austin, Texas people at? I ain't been seeing my Austin people in here that much lately. We trying to work on the website. So Gabe, let's see, Gabe, Michael, Lady Trill. We working on the website. All the people been asking me about physicals. Everybody that sent me, I got a few emails asking about physicals. Working on the website. Got to get that redone. Even if it's just a page, just where y'all can order the physicals. Because, you know, because, man, look, we trying to, well, I ain't going to say we. There's probably a few people, but I'm trying to keep the physical copies alive, man, you know. Y'all go check out the Underground Dialogue podcast, latest episode with the homie Justo Flex. I told y'all, if it's people y'all don't know, go learn about them. Don't just go to the podcast when y'all see a known name on there. Come on, man. Support. We claim we don't bandwagon, but if it's not a known person, y'all don't watch those episodes. It's just like people who only gonna listen to a song because it's popular on the radio, but we say, man, ain't no new music out. Go learn about some of these artists y'all don't know, and y'all will find how connected they are to the building of the culture. One more like, y'all. Nah, I don't have to get 100 likes to get paid. That's just a number that I like to reach because my OCD kicks in. And I have a small community. We're not on here talking to 5,000, 10,000 people at a time. So, you know, when I get to 90 likes, 87, 92 likes, I just like to get to a round number. The 100 has no significance in terms of how my YouTube works. Now, likes themselves, of course, you know, they contribute to the algorithm and visibility to a degree, but I don't think 100 likes impacts that all that greatly. Just the more likes you get, but that's just my goal in my little small community. So, yeah. JD, you in Dove Springs? Okay. I'm still shouting y'all out, man. Locations, location. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin Robinson Jr. Salute. Thank you. My goodness, man. You a real one, Kevin. Say that Justo interview was informative. Yeah, man. Y'all, these are people y'all don't know about, but they was immersed in the game. Justo, the Scooby interview, School Yonder from the Grit Boys, same thing. Go watch those interviews, man. Got another one coming this week with the homie B. Fetty. Y'all ain't ready. All right. I think I got everything in, man. I appreciate the love. I'll catch y'all real soon with another one. I'll try to get back at y'all before the weekend ends, but I ain't making no promises. All right, one love, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. I'll catch y'all later on. Peace.